Hi, I'm your host, Tracie Daily. My father killed my mother in 1993. He was a psychopath. I was 10 when my mother was killed. I wrote Tracie's story, available on Amazon, or just hashtag Tracie Daily Books into your favourite search engine. I'm a big fan of true crime podcasts. I've seen them take many different forms over the years. I've never seen one done by one of the people connected to murder and manslaughter directly, and so today is my first cast. Trigger warning. All of my content may potentially trigger anyone bereaved by murder and manslaughter, or in fact, any other situation. Enter at your own risk. Today's episode involves the death of a child. The case of Robert Astley, the child killer. Denise Bradbury had gone to the pub and left his daughter in the hands of a babysitter. Denise Bradbury was living in King's Standing in 1983 in Birmingham. She was just 2 years old and lived with her mum, Patricia, and Dennis, her dad. It was only 1983, so not a million years ago. It was just a year after I was born, and I'm 40 in September. Robert Astley was 23 when he snuck into her home, sexually assaulted her, and dumped her body into the back of a car in Sparks Hill. He confessed to her murder. I've been unable to find further details related to how and when he handed himself in or when he confessed. Please comment if you know. What I can tell you is he was sentenced at Birmingham Crown Court in the October of 1983. In 2016, Robert Astley was attacking another inmate with boiling water. 2 years were added to his sentence. He claimed he was being bullied, and that he added cooking oil to the water to maximise the damage he threw on the inmate Anthony Batchelor. He admitted the assault at Hull Crown Court, where Judge Mark Berry conceded that he would not be coming out of prison anytime soon. Here's an extract from the freelibrary.com by Ben Hurst. A child killer serving life in prison at one of Britain's toughest jails has attacked another inmate with scalding hot water. Robert Astley, 57, abducted 2-year-old Denise Bradbury from her bed at King's Standing Home, sexually assaulted her and dumped her lifeless body in the back of a car. Toddler Denise's dad, Dennis, had gone to the pub with friends, leaving the children with a babysitter. But after the teenager had gone home, Astley, then aged 24, sneaked into the house in Clapton Grove. 2 days later, the tot's battered body was found in the back of a car on wasteland of Bromyard Road, Sparks Hill. Astley was sentenced to life imprisonment after confessing to murdering the toddler at Birmingham Crown Court in October 1983. So, some accounts here are saying that he was 23, some websites are saying he was 24. After admitting the offences, Astley was sent to Full Sutton Prison, a maximum security jail near Pocklington, where Britain's most notorious criminals are housed. Although Astley admitted the assault at Hull Crown Court, where he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, the judge conceded he wouldn't be coming out of prison anytime soon. Stephen Welsh, prosecuting, said the complainant and the defendant are both in D-Wing at HMP Full Sutton, and initially the pair got along. They were even friends. However, they had some sort of falling out, and the victim describes distancing himself from the defendant, and according to him, Astley took exception with this. During the crossover in the corridor, Astley threw the boiling water over him. As a result of the attack, Batchelor suffered burns to his arms, chest, left scarring, and he developed a nervous tic. He has since been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Sentencing Astley, Judge Mark Berry said, "It was aggravated bodily harm, which you have pleaded guilty to, and obviously only a custodial sentence can be imposed. You were sentenced to life imprisonment a long time ago, and you've been in maximum security facility for a while. It's a serious matter, because you left him with permanent scarring. It's a serious crime because it took place in a prison, and prisons are meant to be safe for others to carry out their sentences. At the end of the day, the sentence I will be imposing will be academic, because you would not be getting out of prison anytime soon anyhow." Astley committed his previous offence of killing 2-year-old Denise in 1983 and was sentenced to life with a minimum of 14 years, but has refused to engage with parole services because he believes those who have committed murder cannot be healed. And that's the end of the extract. He was sent to Full Sutton Prison maximum security jail, but last year in 2021, his case was referred to the parole board for his 11th review. He was sentenced to 14 years, later increased to 20 as he refused to communicate with the Home Secretary, again claiming those who commit murder cannot be healed. When Denise's father, who's now a grandfather of 10 grandchildren, heard the news, his first reaction was, what if he comes looking for us? It's turned the whole family upside down and really annoyed us all. 10 grandchildren. Dennis says in an interview that at the news of Astley's potential release, he felt threatened and worried for his family. He goes on to say that he shouldn't be allowed to be walking the streets after brutally murdering a small child like he did, and that he could easily go and do it again and has no remorse for it. Someone asked me what happened to Denise. It's never gone away. 40 years later, it's still the same. It will never go away. It's just there permanently. She was just a happy-go-lucky little girl who never hurt anybody. I don't know why. I don't know what satisfaction he got out of brutally killing her like he did. Denise can't come back. She can't come out and walk around like him. He should stay for life. Life should mean life. Denise is doing life in a grave. He should be doing life in prison. Those were Dennis's words. Well, it's Tracie Daily here. I think I can speak for the majority when we say the father has done an amazing job throughout, and our heart goes out to him, it really does. My mother was killed, and although I know what it's like to lose a parent at a very early age, I was 10. I'm thankful that my 2 children are safe and well. I won't give Robert too much time here because, let's be honest, he really doesn't deserve it. But I will say I agree wholeheartedly with Dennis. I'd even go as far as to say he deserves the exact same sentence. Not just prison, but the exact same sentence. My family had criminal activity going on all over the place, and we were in and out of prison throughout my childhood, my uncles, other relatives. I've heard horror stories about people finding someone who's upended their bed, hung themselves, or taken one too many beatings because they stepped a screw, etc. However, I've also seen the other side. Televisions in prison cells, internet accesses, phones, game rooms, pool tables, Scrabble, Monopoly, etc, etc. Hell, if you've got relatives sending in money or you can bag yourself a nice little prison job, you can have all the sweets, chocolate and snacks that you like. Does Robert Astley really deserve life? No, he doesn't. Little Denise didn't get life. She got death. And if we're going to align the sentencing to match the crime, then come on, it's only fair now. I don't believe in rehabilitation for serious crimes where no mental illness has been proved. It's a very serious statement, I know. A lot of people won't agree with me, and I'm okay with that too. I don't believe in rehabilitation for serious crimes. So I'm talking murder, rape, child abuse, serious crimes, where no mental illness has been proved. So if you've done something because you've got a legitimate mental concern, a legitimate mental illness, that's been proved, you've done something that's outside of your control, fair play. Give you all the rehabilitation, all the assistance that you need. You don't have a mental illness and you've chosen to take somebody's life, chosen to abuse somebody. You have a problem, but it's not a mental problem. You have a problem with the choices that you make and the person that you've chosen to be. So yeah, I have a problem with the rehabilitation of offenders with no mental illness. But here's why. My father abused the kids and his wife before he killed them. You can read all about that in my books if you want to. I'm not gonna change the story here for people, but what did he do when he came out of prison? He abused his girlfriend and her children. He repeated the exact same pattern. One of the children, of which to this day has an eating disorder, and she doesn't trust men due to the sexual abuse she received at my father's hands. It would have saved so many people so much trouble to just leave a few cell doors open on the wrong wing and let nature take its course. If you needed some kind of idea, picture, if you like, of the strength and determination of Dennis, then you only have to know that a year before Denise was killed, Dennis was in a car crash. His daughter, Denise, and his wife were in the car with him. Denise survived with 2 broken legs, and they healed. His wife, Patricia, however, didn't make it. She died in the crash. A year later, Robert Astley would kill Denise. So Dennis really did lose everything, his wife and his child, in the space of a year and a half, in the most horrible of circumstances. So Denise Bradbury, who this whole story should really be about, one of the strongest men I've ever heard of. Keep on keeping on, fella. My respect to you and to your family. May the 6th, 1983, Denise Bradbury's father, Dennis, went to the pub with friends, leaving the children with a babysitter. But after the teenager had gone home, Robert Astley snuck into the house in Clapton Grove. Astley abducted 2-year-old Denise from her bed, sexually assaulted and killed her. 2 days later, her body was found in the back of a car on Wasteland off Bromyard Road, Sparks Hill. October the 18th, 1983, Astley confessed to murdering the toddler and was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 14 years at Birmingham Crown Court. Astley was sent away to Full Sutton Prison, a maximum security jail near Pocklington. Later the same year, the Home Secretary increased the minimum tariff to 20 years. October 2003, Astley's minimum tariff had been served. Astley then refused to engage with parole services because he believes those who have committed murder cannot be healed. Now, this is on several websites out there. Those who commit murder cannot be healed. His word. July the 5th, 2016, Astley attacked another inmate with scalding hot water and is sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in November the same year. 2021, Robert Astley has now served 18 years over his minimum tariff. Secretary of State for Justice refers the case to the parole board. A hearing is expected to take place in 2021, September. If Astley's release is approved, the decision is provisional for 21 days to allow the victim's family or the Secretary of State apply for the decision to be reconsidered. 18th of May 2022, I discovered that Robert Astley will not be leaving Full Sutton Prison and will not be going to an open prison. Thank you, Justice. It is not often at all, unfortunately, that I get to say this, but that is a result. Thank you to whoever went out to ensure the safety of our children, and it is our children, from the likes of Robert Astley. Dennis and family, I know this will never bring back your little girl. However, I do hope that you guys sleep that little bit safer tonight, and every night, knowing that this guy is behind bars. My name's Tracie Daily. If you like what you heard today, the like's probably too strong a word there. Or you have a comment, drop me a DM on my socials or hashtag me in at Tracie Daily Books. Alternatively, you can get me anonymously if you like at mrtraciedaily.wordpress.com. Just fill in the form on there. Before I go, for all those listening, and I've heard hundreds of different types of responses to my story. As soon as I say my father killed my mother, people either jump, oh wow, a real life murder, or they go the other way and like, don't know what to say, they're a bit shocked. Who believe wholeheartedly these things don't happen to the average Joe, that it's just something we see on a drama programme or big blown up productions. Here's a fact to remember. 19th of May 2022, the UK database currently lists 98,000 convicted sex offenders from England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland. You can find them online at the ukdatabase.org. And that's just the ones they've put on there. It's not even the rest. Again, 98,000 convicted sex offenders from England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland. I also want to shout out to SAM, that's samm.org.uk, that's sam.org.uk for all the support you guys have given me. That's support after murder and manslaughter. Assist those for free, major charity, bereaved via murder and manslaughter, for those bereaved via murder and manslaughter, by those bereaved via murder and manslaughter. Rose, Lynn and company, you're all legends, and I can never thank you enough for how you helped me change my life. How I went from PTSD, panic attacks, depression, and you guys ripped me clean out of that. and assisted me in seeing my potential and what I could possibly achieve.